All right, hello, I'm Mr. Rogers.
And I'm Mrs. Froman.
And this is the video notes for section 5-4 on tropisms or plant growth and plant response to stimuli, because they're alive, so they can respond to stimuli. So when a plant responds to a stimulus, we call that a tropism. And there can be a couple different types. So a tropism, simply put, is growth toward or away from a stimulus. So if it grows toward it, we say it's a positive stimulus. If it grows away, that's a negative. And we're going to look at a few different types of these tropisms. So there are some plants that actually respond to touch. So we think about a vine as it coils around. Once it kind of feels or senses that other branch, it coils around it. Another example would be the Venus flytrap. Everybody loves the Venus flytrap. They actually have these little tiny kind of hair triggers in there. And if I think it's 3 or more are tripped, it's going to close down.
Up.
So those are kind of the first one, that thigmotropism. The other plants too, I know, that respond if you just touch them, they even kind of collapse. There's
like the sensitivity plant where the leaves will fold up if you touch it. Then we have phototropism, and that's going to be growth toward the light. Sunflowers are called sunflowers because they always face the sun. So as the sun moves across the sky, the sunflowers move too. And that's part of the phototropism. And then there's gravitropism. And that's a response to gravity. So it's really important for plants because their roots need to grow down so their stems can grow up. If they don't know which way's up, they're never going to get out of the
That's
ground.
Right. There's some examples there too. You can see, like, this one's upside down. There's a root coming back down.
It's still coming down.
The stem's trying to get up there, And these we'd call positive tropisms. They're going toward
gravity, toward
the light. So toward being pulled by gravity, so going down. So what does this? What are these tropisms? What causes tropism? So inside plants plants have hormones, these chemicals that affect how plants grow. And then these hormones control lots of things. How they grow, germination, when's it going to grow, flower, stem and leaf formations, when they lose their leaves in the fall, certain trees that do that, what time of year their fruit's going to ripen. All those are controlled by different hormones in the plant. I'm going to look at one in particular that kind of aids with growth.
Yeah, and that one is called auxin, and that's the hormone that speeds up the rate at which the plant cells grow, and it controls its response to light. So really important for the plant to get that light. So what's happening is when the light shines on the stem, the auxin is going to move to the side that it's not shining on, so the shaded side. So then those cells will grow faster, which bends the stem toward the light.
Yeah, and you can see an example of that right here where they're going to grow over here. So you can see, like, if the plant falls, it's going to grow up toward the light. So when we talk about the different types of plants, guys, we also talk about in this section kind of lifespan of plants. We haven't talked about how long plants can live for yet. And there's a couple kind of big categories we can put them in. One is an annual. An annual event means it happens every year. And so an annual flower, they grow, develop their flower and fruit all in 1 year.
Then they die.
And they die.
They're done.
So tomatoes, petunias, think about maybe your household gardens. A lot of those plants, your parents have to replant every year. There are others.
A biennial, and that's when it lasts 2 years. So the first year it germinates and grows its roots, and it'll usually be kind of a short plant. And then the second year it actually grows a new stem and leaves, but the same root. And then it produces its flowers and seeds, and then it will die.
Okay.
So parsley, celery, foxglove, and also garlic mustard, one of the invasive plants. That's a biennial. So
you see a bunch of those here in the spring, unfortunately. And then finally we have our perennial. And these guys can live many, 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 many years. Many have herbaceous or the woody stems. Think about our trees. They come back year after year. They are perennials. You plant them once, and every year they're going to come back. So peonies, daylilies, asparagus, shrubs, trees, once they're planted, I know that my peonies come back every Memorial Day. They bloom right about that time. They come back every year. So perennial means they come back every year. All right, so 7th grade, we're going to stop there. We thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you along the way.